I'm shocked that Usman lost because he made a mistake. First of all, Edwards took him down. It was the first time Usman had ever been taken down in a fight.
That was early.
That was early in the first round. And Skip, he was a different fighter than lost to Usman in 2015. But if you notice,
which was his debut.
And he was doing a great job. He was catching Usman with some nice shots, but Usman was winning the rounds. And what Usman did is that he threw a shot, and Usman, the guy is a southpaw. So what Usman did, he slipped the punch, but he leaned a little bit too far, and Edwards, the left foot planted perfectly upside of his head.
Yep.
And Skip, that's the thing about UFC. Until that, if it's a title fight, until the bell goes off in the fifth, nobody is out of a fight. Because like that, a foot, an elbow, a fist, and it's over. And it was, I mean, as soon as he landed, I mean, you could, boom, it was over. I mean, Herb Dean just came in. Edwards just turned away because he knew you're not getting up from that, bro. And so that's why it's so hard. You're not gonna find a guy unless like John Jones. John Jones is an anomaly. But most of the time, Skip, these guys don't have 7 and 8, 9-year reigns like a boxer. Because first of all, boxers, you can pick and choose your fight, and you fight. I'll fight the 8th ranked guy. No, you don't do that in UFC. You're gonna fight the number 1, number 2 contenders all the time. And one mistake, and it's Jack Rabbit wore cowboy boots.
Yep. I was pretty sure Usman was going to make short work of him. And although the harder I looked this morning at what Leon Edwards has been doing, he'd won 15, or was it 15 in a row?
15 in a row.
Yeah, because he'd been doing quietly very well.
Right.
So I'm just watching with one eye, Only Murders in the Building, and the other eye I'm watching, and all of a sudden there's less than a minute to go in the fight, and I see kaboom go across my screen, and all of a sudden you can just call it up and look at what happened. What? Well, as Dana White said, this is what makes this sport the greatest sport in the world. Well, it's great and it's bad because it's hard to be dominating because you're just one split second, one tiny little mistake away from you're out.
Yes.
You are KO'd on the canvas. And this was the classic case. In boxing, they call it walking into a punch, but he walked into a kick.
Yes.
He just, and to your point, he's more concerned about ducking a punch, and all of a sudden he ducks too far, and it wasn't even a very high kick, and it just catches him flush in the jaw, and he's out.
He's out.
He's KO'd.
Yes.
And as Dana said, you think of everything that was on the line for Usman tonight. Usman fought with absolute and total confidence the entire night. He fought the perfect fight. Well, almost, except for with mere seconds left.
One mistake.
You make one tiny little mistake. So it reminded me of Pacquiao versus Marquez. Do you remember this?
Yeah, Juan Marquez. He walked right into it.
Juan Manuel Marquez. Okay, so they have fought 4 times, and Manny's just tired of it. You know, like he's just doing it at that point because there's nothing else to do. And they're in round 6, and he gets a little bored, and his mind wanders for 1 second. Kaboom! He's gone.
He walked right into it.
And God, on TV, I had to take ridicule on that for weeks on end.
Yeah.
You know, Manny, he's Somonexed, you know, like.
But Skip, that's the thing. A lot of times, but in a boxing, Skip, it's the punch, and that's all you got to worry about. But like you said, Usman, he's trying to duck the punch, and he ducks it. The guy misses him, but the foot. And it's just so, Skip, I mean, you going in and like, okay, yeah, I'm seeing, and then the guy turns around, he hits you with a hammer fist. There's so many ways that a guy can get you out. That's why, look, and I know John Jones is messed up, but no one can actually say, I beat him, or I went to the scorecards, he got disqualified because he needed the guy, was on him, and you can't need a guy.
Yep.
But to be unbeaten as long as he has been.
I agree.
And we see, I mean, the greats from Usman and whomever you think of, St. Pierre, all the greats have tasted defeat because it's so hard in that sport.
It is. Remember, Usman's now 35 years of age, so he's starting to get up there.
Yes.
In UFC, it doesn't seem the age doesn't matter quite as much. It seems like.
But it's a young man's game.
It's a young man's game. So what struck me, and then I flipped over and started watching all the post game. Leon Edwards was behind on every card substantially, prohibitively behind on every card. But I'm watching him talk after the match, and he looked fine to me.
Right.
And I'm thinking, does he look punished? Does he look bloody? Does he look bowed? No, he didn't look anything. For all of Usman's tactical superiority through most of the fight, dominating the fight, Leon Edwards looked like he could have fought for 5 more rounds.
Right.
That's how it came across to me. He's looked just fine.
Yeah,
right?
I think the thing is that if they're going to be a rematch,
Yes, there will
I think
be.
the tactical thing, because I believe Usman is the superior wrestler, is to take it to the mat. Don't try to exchange with the guy, because the guy, now he's better in his hand. You see, obviously, he's better standing up. You might want to take this thing to the mat and keep him down there and try to wear him out and win by points. Don't try to, because a lot of times, Skip, as a champ, we want to entertain, we want to get the guy up out of there. Oh, he got him up out of there. But no, at the end of the night, the objective is to get your hand raised in victory, as not, somebody else is walking out of there with your belt.
Well, I told Ernestine this will be a mismatch. And it was, until that happened. And then it wasn't.
It's crazy. I mean, to see how in a split, just like that, because he's what was he? He was trying to. He had a 15 match UFC win streak, one away from Anderson Silva's record.
Okay. Yep. So in the end, Leon Edwards earns a trilogy fight, and he'll earn a bunch of money from it. But still, in the end, do I think he's better than Usman? I do not.
Skip, but
it doesn't matter.
But losing in that fashion, it does something to you. I talked to Roy on my podcast. He said, man, getting knocked out, you're more susceptible to getting knocked out. It does something to your confidence.
It does. It shakes you.
And now it gives him confidence. So now he's like, hey, bro, I done slept you.
Well, when Buster Douglas did what he did to Tyson,
it broke him, because for half the time Mike had won the fight before he stepped into the ring. Everybody like, oh, Mike going to destroy him.
See, Michael Spinks.
And Frazier beat Joe Frazier's son. But man, that was a devastating kick.
Whew.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.